For as long as I've been in the wine trade, winemakers have consistently said it takes a lot of beer to produce amazing wine. And because I don't want them to start slacking anytime soon, I'm going to be sitting down with some of my favorite winemakers and getting them all to take on DasBootiful Cape Winelands challenge. The challenge itself is all about chugging down a locally produced craft beer while still appreciating the world-class wine. Now let's find out who the quickest winemaker is. Welcome to another episode of DasBootiful Cape Winelands, where today I'm sitting with Donovan Ackerman of Rickety Winery. Donovan, lucky to see you again. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Coming out.
For sure. So, I mean, before we get kick-started here, you were in the USA, right?
Yes.
And how did that treat you? Did you bring some tasty wine back with you?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Not California, but French ones.
Buying French wine in the USA?
Yeah. No, it was a good trip, yeah.
Really? How long were you away from?
Well, it was 15 days.
Okay, wow. Okay,
yeah, it was a long time, but we were busy and it was, it was
work or pleasure or both?
More work, but a bit of pleasure as well. Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that on air? No.
Yeah.
Okay, so Donovan, let's kick this off. Rickety Bridge, can you just talk us through how the name came about and what makes Rickety Bridge so unique compared to the other producers in Franschhoek?
Yeah, so if you come into Rickety Bridge, there's a bridge obviously, and that used to be an old sleeper wood bridge.
Okay.
So it was kind of rickety, and at that stage it became that you couldn't drive over it anymore. So that's why now it's a concrete bridge, and we can bring over trucks and all sorts of transport. So that's basically how the name came from, we've got some wines that's named after the Rickety Bridge, like the crossover and the bridge,
for sure,
and the sleeper was named after the sleeper wood.
Nice. Yeah. How long ago did they actually change that bridge?
Well, that's probably, I would say, around about 30 years ago.
Okay, so it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And in terms of what you believe makes Rickety so unique, what would those features be?
Well, we're in beautiful Franschhoek. We're a very versatile area. We've got very good soils, especially at Rickety Bridge. I know we're kind of flat here up against the mountain, but we've got very fertile soils, and we can make a wide range of high quality wines.
For sure.
And we're not just, wine estate producing wine. We also have a beautiful tasting room, restaurant, wedding venue, guest house, the wine tram running.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
a full experience.
For sure.
So it's a very unique place.
So when you have clientele visiting the estate, you really want to try and keep them here for as long as possible.
Absolutely.
So
it's not just a one-stop.
Yeah.
Stay for
as a destination.
For a few days. Yeah. We're not just farming grapes, we're farming with people as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
So Donovan, out of all the crazy occupations out there, what is it that drew you towards the craft of winemaking?
Well, I think I've always had a love for soil, and my grandfather was a winemaker. He used to be at Farmer's Winery back in the day, and my uncle was also a winemaker. So it kind of runs in the family. But I always thought I was going to be a viticulturist, working in the vineyards.
Yeah.
But that's also very important as a winemaker to understand your vineyards, to get into the vineyards. But I did my first harvest in 2010, and I was in the cellar, and then I was hooked. I wanted to craft winemaking.
For sure.
It's such an art,
Yeah, because the one thing that's been quite consistent, through the series so far is that all the winemakers, I'd say 9 out of 10, the first thing that they go to is that winemaking happens in the vineyards.
Yeah.
So it's promising to hear that you say a lot of the focus needs to be there. You need to understand that side of it before you obviously bring in the technicalities of the cellar.
If you don't understand the vineyard, you're going to have a hard time figuring it out in the cellar.
Yeah, for sure.
If you know the vineyards and you know where the ripeness is, or whatever your analysis is, it just makes it much easier to conduct in the cellar.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, Donovan, in your opinion, what's the most important stage when it comes to the winemaking process?
Well, there's a lot of stages, and for different types of wines. I think fermentation is very important.
For sure,
without that, we won't have wine. So to control that is very important, and to give the yeast enough nutrition so that they can ferment. And a crucial stage is after fermentation.
Okay.
Because then the wine is susceptible to oxidation, any microbial growth. So it's very important as a winemaker to look after your wine
For sure.
at that stage.
100%.
Because that's when the spoilage happens. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that I think Bert has touched on as well from Moiplas, that he said that, you know, fermentation is incredibly crucial because a lot of those flavors that, you know, end up coming into the wine, the flavor profile is heavily, you know, run in conjunction with the fermentation temperatures.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's where everything happens. That's on reds, that's where the color is extracted, the tannins extracted, your other flavor, fruit profiles, that's where it all happens during fermentation. When that is done,
For sure.
There's not really much you can do about it. And I think another crucial one is picking at the right time.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're picking too ripe, you know, you're going to have a bit of problems in the sun. If you pick too early, it's a bit green. So it's also very crucial to get that spot on.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily just science. It's also about truly understanding it and having a feel and, you know, for it.
100%. Yeah. No. It's like over the years, you know, you understand your vineyards and you know you've got certain dates in your head and you work around that.
Okay.
Obviously, every year is different.
Yeah, for sure.
It can be earlier, it can be maybe later. It can be dry, it can be wet. So we're working with Mother Nature.
Yeah.
It's
Nature's going to throw some crazy
unpredictable.
obstacles.
But yes, there is a feel. If you walk in the vineyard and you taste the grapes, you know, you just know that it's right.
For sure.
And then you know, you go for it.
For sure. So the varietal in focus today is Semillon. I'm pretty certain a lot of people do know Semillon, but I don't think a lot of people understand a Semillon or know what the flavor profile of that varietal might be. So can you maybe just chat us through the classic flavor profile of the Semillon grape varietal?
Well, you know, Semillon, the new clones, I would say, is more, you know, green flavors. But here in Franschhoek, we're working with very old wines.
Okay.
Some of the blocks are over 100 years old.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. So that's the first thing I saw. I saw the old wine certification over here on the bottle. And what I noticed is that this is 1902. That is freaking crazy. That's the oldest block that I'm going to be able to taste from. I'm super excited to get onto this. So sorry to interrupt, but that's something that really blew my brain when I saw it.
1905.
Oh, is it 1905? Sorry for making you older than what you are. My apologies.
But yeah, so we must understand that new clones, they create different flavors, more green, you know, your canned peat type of flavors. Where older clones were much more complex and restrained.
Okay.
So Semillon is an interesting one. In the cellar, it doesn't give you anything. That's why it's kind of a hate-love relationship. At the end, I start loving it. But during fermentation, it doesn't give a lot away.
Yeah.
It's very neutral.
For sure.
And then later on, all the flavors develop. You get a lot of citrus, you get waxiness, and I think where Semillon comes in is your palate.
Okay.
That texture, you get weight, you get fattiness with aging.
Nice.
And that's why it's a beautiful food wine, very versatile.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything that you mentioned now, that palate weights, that texture, that waxiness, I mean, that's one of the reasons why Semillon is often featured with Sauvignon Blanc. Can you maybe explain what it's going to offer to Sav in a blend?
So, yeah, we all know Sauvignon Blanc can be quite powerful, for sure. Very fruity, very acidic.
Yeah.
It has a higher acidity than Semillon. So that's what the guys do, you know, they blend it in with the Sauvignon Blanc just to break it a bit and bring down the acidity and smooth it out a bit and maybe just tone down the fruit of the wine.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful blending component. It's just unfortunate that it always gets lost into the Sauvignon Blanc and no one ever talks about it.
For sure.
It's fine if it goes into a blend that's, you know, it's still 85% Sauvignon Blanc. So you don't have to put it on the label, but still, you know, educate the people why, because it's obviously a crucial blending component for you for putting it in.
For sure. And also, like Semillon it's very prone to a noble rot, right?
Yeah.
So it catches that, but also it has that ability to retain its natural acidity, which is one of the reasons why it's such a popular grape varietal, especially in Bordeaux.
Yeah, no, Semillon has a lower acid than Sauvignon Blanc, but we try and pick a bit earlier just to retain that freshness. We don't really want to add acid to the wine. We want the natural acidity because that contributes to the wine. And then you said about noble rot. Yeah, it is. Semillon is quite a big grape. Okay. It's a nice eating grape. And it's got quite a thin skin. So yeah, it is. If it gets some rain, it can pop quite quickly.
Okay.
So it is very susceptible to rot, any kind of rot. We always say the Semillon rots overnight. So that is a challenge in the vineyards, but I think we take it on every year as it comes, as the weather comes.
Sure.
So,
For sure, and I mean, being a block that's existed since 1905, I mean, how big is that block, and the yield must be incredibly low.
Yeah, well, it's now 117 years old, 4.5 hectare block, so it's quite a large block. The yield, we're looking at 3 to 4 tons a hectare.
Okay.
Which is not bad.
Yeah, that's actually not bad for considering how old the block is.
It's not bad at all. What I must also mention, we've got some Semillon Gris, also in the vineyard, 6%. So that's just the mutation that happens in the vineyards. The grapes trying to protect themselves from the virus that we think is just theories. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know yet if Rosa Korea has been looking at it, but can't really find why this is happening. But the Gris also contributes to the wine, the final wine at the end of the day, because it adds again a bit of body and bit of texture.
For sure.
But the block's still going, but we're looking at putting new vines down where the vines have died off, and we can actually get the same. We got clone from the block.
Oh wow, nice.
We can buy from nurseries, from Rickety. So we've isolated the exact same.
Wow, no ways, that's awesome. So that's good news for you guys.
Yeah, so we know, at least we know that putting the same material down, but it's obviously very younger.
Yeah, for sure. And I like what you mentioned about that tonnage, because it just makes me feel that block is so happy. Needless, not even taking into consideration how old it is. But the concentration of fruit is going to be something else. So I'm very excited to eventually get onto tasting this.
It's on very good soils. It's got granite soils, well drained. We're also looking to putting down irrigation.
Okay.
But we'll only use that if we need.
Oh, so this is dry land farming.
It's dry land farming.
Nice.
At the stage, so we'll put an emergency irrigation in. It's purely during the January, February, the very hot days we get just to give it a bit of a push at the end of the day.
Sure. Yeah. So dry land, being that old, I would imagine then those roots are penetrating far down. I wonder how far under they are.
You're not going to stand there.
Yeah. So Donovan, this is just one of these wines that year in and year out it consistently just wows critics and it consistently picks up 5 stars. So I know as of late you were just awarded 3 5 stars for different wines across the board. Actually, one of my favorite wines of all time, the last time I saw you, we actually tasted through it. It was just before you were about to release it. It was that Old Vines Cinso. Yes. That one, damn, I can still taste that wine. That's how long that finishes. So that one is just so incredibly impressive. And this is the first time I'm going to try this wine, so I can't wait to get to it. So the next question I wanted to ask is quite a difficult one. Over all these years that you've been exposed to crazy wines, what to date is still your favorite wine?
That's a difficult one. I've had a few ones. Some of them I remember, but I can't remember the name. There's one that actually pops up in my head, and it's when I was in the States now. Okay. I saw the winery again, and it's a winery in Hillsburg, Sonoma. Okay. It's called Raimi Wines. Okay. And they really specialize in Cabernet and Bordeaux varieties. Okay. One of our friends, Franco Lawrence, he worked there that year. We also did I did my harvest as well, which is outside Hillsburg. And he gave me a bottle, and I drank it here at Rickety Bridge. And that's like 10 years later. Yeah. And it was absolutely beautiful. Really? Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
But Sonoma is not necessarily a place known for cab, is it?
Yeah, but I think that was vineyards from Napa.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But the winery was in Hillsburg. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Yeah. Then the next question that I wanted to ask is now, I'm pretty certain you've got a secret stash of very tasty wines that's hiding somewhere around there in your home. But
I do, yeah.
So out of your own personal collection, what's the most prolific wine that you're currently holding on to?
Porcelain.
Like what vintage?
So I'm a collector. So I get every vintage every year 2 bottles. Yeah. So I've got now 3 vintages, yeah.
Yo, that's like the minute you said porcelain, people started screaming there in the background.
Yeah, was that planned or?
Yes, no, but so actually, funny enough that you mentioned that, I tasted it not so long ago in Johannesburg for the first time as well, and I just thought like, damn, once you taste it, it sets the bar.
Absolutely.
Just like I'm pretty certain the Semillon's going to set the bar.
Yeah.
So you know what? I think that's enough mumbo jumbo from us. How's about we put some liquid to lips?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so Donovan, now that this incredible wine has just been opened, can you maybe just take us through the production process that went into this wine?
Yeah, so like I said, we try and pick a bit earlier to retain the acidity of the Semillon. But it's crucial again, we do 100% whole bunch to create a complex, more restrained Semillon. And then we do natural settling for 1 day, and then we do natural fermentation, or we rack from there and it goes into old stockingers, which is the food rust.
Okay.
They're probably about 6 years old now, and that's where natural fermentation will take place. And then we age it in the food rust as well for about 10 months. So really a hands-off approach. The vineyard, does all the talking. We as winemakers are just guiding it.
This one is actually like leaving me speechless over here. It's the only way I can describe what I'm experiencing right now is you have a sip of that, and it's like as it goes down your gullet, it's like I can feel it like going into me.
I just got that feeling.
It's just got this like really amazing presence about itself. It like absorbs all your energy and concentration. It's like forces you to focus and like pay attention to what it's trying to tell you, because that's I haven't had a wine that's done that to me in quite a while. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, we were just talking about I've even forgotten what we're talking. The porcelain bag. I mean, that one was amazing, but this one is doing something to me that one didn't. That is seriously impressive. The weight and like the complexity, the layers of this one is like.
It is a layered wine. I mean,
it goes like this,
and it's just gonna get better as it opens up. It needs a bit of oxygen, maybe a decanting.
Yes, Donovan, this is some sophisticated stuff that's right over here. It's a massive pleasure to be able to drink this. And it's just taking me back to, I remember sitting, so some wines have that ability when they just take you to like these crazy memories that you haven't thought of for years. So, I mean, it's taking me back to when I was probably about 11, like I would say about that time. It sounds very like precise, but imagine, I mean, so I grew up for a large part of my life, I grew up with my grandparents. And my grandfather was a huge fan of like buying actual honey, like raw honey, where it's in the like the comb still. And I remember when you take that honey and you spread it on there's like obviously it's in the wax still. There's like just a hint of that's in this wine that just took me all the way back there. That is so incredible. Damn, this one.
Definitely one of the characters. Honeysuckle.
For sure.
Things.
So I mean, the name, the pilgrimage. I mean. My initial question was going to be, so is this wine going to be good enough to set you on this like journey of trying to like understand the meaning of life? but I don't even have to answer that, because that wine is literally sending me on a journey.
It is, that's why we chose the name. It's just to show the people that this is our journey to find old vineyards and nurture them and make high quality wines out of it. And hopefully it changes your journey of how you think about Semillon.
For sure.
That it is a very good competitor, on the world stage, and it's wines that you can drink. And if you see it on the shelf, try it. Don't just always go for your Chardis or Sauvignons. Step out of the box and try something new.
Absolutely. No, this is incredible. And I mean, 2019. So the longevity of Semillon. Sems can go quite the distance, can't they?
That's what I'm also trying to educate the people about, is that white wines can age. You don't have to drink 2023 now in February. They're already asking when can we get the vintage. But that's the thing, white wines, can age like red wines if it's made well, and maybe if it's wooded, and low pH, all those things. Semillon, yes, definitely. Longevity, that's why when we bottle, we try and keep it in bottle for 1 or 2 years before we release to the market.
Sure.
But definitely, you know, 5, 10 plus years, it just keeps on getting better and more silkier, a bit more broader, and becomes more layered. So it is a wine that can age very well.
Yeah, so again, I mean, this one with its presence and that texture and that weight, I mean, this is a full-bodied wine. But funny enough, the one thing that obviously really constitutes a lot of body to wine is the alcohol. But I'm seeing here that the alcohol is only 12.5, so it's nice and light. So that just shows you the prestige and the concentration of the fruit of this wine is seriously next level.
That's why we don't have to pick right. You don't have to hit 13.5% alcohol. You get the texture without a high alcohol, and that just goes to show you what Semillon is capable of. That the layers you get and the fatness you get, and obviously to keep the acidity intact. That's the big thing of why we pick earlier. But we don't have to pick late. Which is great.
No, for sure. So I mean, listen, this wine over here is drinking like the absolute boss, but I think it's time that we cut a long story short over here. You know, Donovan, for as long as I've been in the wine trade, winemakers have consistently said one thing to me. Gareth, it takes a lot of beer to produce world-class wine. And because I want you to continue producing wines of this crazy quality, I think it's time that you pay the piper and you take on DasBootiful Cape Winelands Challenge.
This season's beer sponsorship comes from the Kennel Brewery. Today's beer is the Multi-Yeast Poodle, a wit beer. Yellow, cloudy, Belgium-style beer with a spicy coriander and bitter orange peel flavor mixed with complex banana and bubblegum notes that give wit beer its distinctive character.
Okay, so Donovan, you know the rules. This is all about chugging down a locally produced craft beer in the quickest possible time and trying to land yourself in this #1 spot. As you can see, Hagen's sitting quite pretty over here at the top, but Raina's sitting quite pretty down here at the bottom. So as long as you're either sitting up here or somewhere in the middle, I think you've had a good run. So I mean, recently picking up 3-5 stars, you deserve this beer. So I just say, give it horns,
Thank
send
you
it,
very much, yeah.
and if you want to continue producing these amazing wines, you have to pay that piper.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm going to do is that you can hold the beer in your hand. I'm going to count you down to 3. The minute that beer touches your lips, it's go time.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you feeling confident?
Not really.
Have some faith.
Yeah, I need to have some faith now. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. 3, 2, 1. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Spill it. You've got this, Donovan, you can do it. Come on. It's looking good, it's looking good. Oh my word, check it out, nearly there. Nice, Donovan. Donovan, well done. How was that? Oh yes, did you get that little burp on camera? Yo, that is a championship round. How do you think you did? How quick do you think that down was for you?
15.
15, not bad.
16.
16:44. Donovan, that is a really good round. So what I'm going to do, this is quickly put you down over here. 16:44. Okay, so that's going to actually move you into 4th spot. But like I said, that is seriously impressive. I mean, when last did you actually down a beer?
No, actually, since I was a student.
Oh, really? So we sent you back in time a touch.
Yeah. Took me back.
And what did you think of the beer?
Oh, very good.
Kennel Brewery, you highly recommend.
Yes, it was very nice and refreshing. Yeah.
Well, like I said, you do deserve it. But Donovan, I just want to say a huge thanks to you, not only for the quality of the wine that you're currently producing and putting out in the trade, but also for your time and also just talking us through the production process and for sitting down and letting us taste your wine today.
Yeah,
so massive thanks. Continue
the
the amazing work.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, man. Thank you. So folks, that was the absolutely mind-blowing Semillon, the pilgrimage that's being produced over here at Rickety Bridge. If you'd like to get your hands on some of that wine, make sure to just follow the links below. My crowdfunding campaign is still a go. If you'd like to make a contribution and possibly stand a chance of winning 12 ridiculously amazing wines, you can contribute or make a donation via this QR code over here in the corner. That brings us to the close of another amazing episode of DasBootiful Cape Winelands. But before I love and leave you, I'd like to remind you all to be kind and drink good wine.
And beer.
And beer. Cheers, thanks a lot.
Cheers, thanks.
Yeah, man, that's it. Thanks a lot. Yeah.